Hello, team, and welcome to episode 29 of Creative English 2025. This is getting long. What do you do professionally speaking? And, team, I hope you guys are as pumped as I am for this week. Yes, it's one of my favorite classes of the year. We will be seeing about a little more than half of your presentations this week, and lots of good speakers. And I hope the high school students who will be watching these classes bring some good questions. But let's get to it. Team, our class this week was related to work. And my mom always used to say that Americans, the first thing that they do is ask, what do you do? And they usually mean work. In this case, I do mean work. So we're talking about what do you do professionally? And it's a chance for you to talk about A, parts of your job that you like, B, the parts of your job that are not your favorite, the difficulties that you might not have imagined when you were 17, 18 years old. Number three, what skill you would recommend a high schooler in 2025 start developing yesterday. So let's take a look. And I brought some content that I think might help with your presentations if you're still planning them. Starting with this page from Elton John, Sir Elton John's diary. Woke up, watched Grandstand, wrote Candle in the Wind, went to London, bought Rolls Royce, Ringo Starr came for dinner. Possibly one of the most epic, if not the most epic diary entry ever. And Grandstand is like a sports show. I had to look it up. But, wrote a song that's on most top lists of best songs of all time. Went to London, bought a Rolls Royce, not a bad car. Ringo Starr just popped over for dinner. So why did I send this to you guys? I want to think about what your professional equivalent of this was. That day when everything went right, fit right into place, and one of those legendary work days. I also brought a theory of Daniel Kahneman's. I'm a big fan of his. I can't think of anything of his that I didn't like, actually. But this is the peak end rule, and it's about how we remember things. And I saw a good example with a wait for a roller coaster. So you're at Disney, you wait for an hour. You wait for an hour to go for 1 minute, maybe less, on one of those roller coasters. And years from then, you remember how cool the roller coaster was. You don't remember how long you stayed in line, because our memory remembers the peak emotion, whether it's good or bad, and how something ends. So if you want to make a good presentation, make sure it has that awesome moment, and make sure you end it well. And it's something that I keep on my board. I'm not at home right now, but on my board, I write, be useful, bring something for my students that will help them, ask a good question, make them think, and send them home happy, because it's the combo for a good English class. And I think if you include a little bit of that in your presentation, it will look more than good. It'll look awesome. So plan a peak moment for your presentation as well as a cool ending. 3-word Wednesday. I had to play a little bit with this, but pumped. So some of my students are not a big fan of the word excited. It has a double entendre in Portuguese. So pumped. It's another way of saying that you're excited for something. Cold played. Oof. You have the internet, you know why I brought this here. Yes. They were cold played this weekend. And perks, since we're talking about work, some of the perks, some of the cool parts, some of the advantages of working where you work or doing what you do. Now our test, the Gringo Job Fair, this is week 1 of 2. We have a lot of cool presentations. This is the lineup. So far, every single presentation has been amazing, bar none. So congratulations to everybody who I've seen so far. And talking point, work. What was your first job? For me, it was dog walking and babysitting. I lived in a big building. I, hung up a little ad saying that I was looking for work, and people started calling. It was a good way to make some money, and still think walking dogs is one of the best ways to work. Describe your dream job. It's a hard one. Garlic bread taste tester is on my list. Maybe panda friend, or you're just like a BFF to a panda. That might be a good one. Mm, all right. What does your work-life balance look like? How many hours is appropriate? And no matter what our capitalist society tells us, you should not be thinking about work your whole life, the whole week, all 168 hours. So what's a good balance for you? And I've worked on this throughout my life, and now I think I'm at a pretty good place. But it's hard to maintain balance for too long. What advice would you give someone starting their career? More than one person said this week, and I really do think it's true. It's be curious, because I see this with students who are learning English. The curious ones, when they find something they don't know, they're like, cool, I didn't know that. I just learned something new. And the opposite of that is, oh my God, I should have known that. It's not a good feeling. So I think curiosity, it's not just a way to open doors, but it's a way to feel good about the things we don't know, because there's a lot of them. Characteristics of bad bosses, I'm going to leave this to you guys. But your ratio of working alone to working on a team, I don't know. I have very little time working on a team professionally, so I think I have gotten used to working alone. But no, having a team is cool. Maybe that's why I call you guys my team. What was a perk that you only discovered after you had started? Okay, I have a good one. When I started teaching English, I didn't realize how much I would learn from my students. I get to talk to a lot of cool, motivated people, and I think I have grown through my conversations with my students. So I like to think that's one of the perks. All right, so thank you guys. Team, that's it. This is week 1. Next week we have another 20 or so presentations, but thank you. And if you see one that you would like to attend, let me know. Have a good one.